In putting, I've mentioned how there are many, many different ways to putt effectively, many different strokes that can get the ball in the hole. In chipping, that's not the case. In chipping, there is only one effective way to chip. Now, I've seen some other methods taught in some of the magazines, but I'd like to refer to those. I see two things being taught. One of them is referring to a clock where you go back and through the same distance. That's crazy. You take the club back so far that you have all this stored energy, and the only way to hit the ball close to the hole is to ease into it. You cannot hit chips well that way. You have to be aggressive into the ball, aggressive impact condition to be effective and consistent chipping. And when you take the club so far back, you simply have too much energy to do any of that well. The other method I hear is to lock your wrists. What? Lock your wrists? That comes in so shallow into the ball, you have no chance of hitting the ball consistently. You want to get the club up quickly, breaking your wrist, and into the ground aggressively. If anybody teaches you one of those two methods, go somewhere else. They might be great with the long game and stick with them for that. But for short game, you've got to run and find somebody who knows what the hell they're talking about. Now, the one correct way of doing it is a method I call Hinge and Hold, but every great chipper does it. They refer to it their own way. They break their wrist immediately going back, causing a much steeper angle of attack into the ball when they go through. They break their wrist going back. Now the club is way up here, and my arm has barely moved. From there, I hold it or accelerate going through. Let me demonstrate. I break going back, and I hold it going through. Now, if I take the club back here, and I accelerate into the finish, the ball's going to go flying past the pin. We have got to be able to hit chip shots aggressively and not have the ball take off on us. We also have to continue our hands to the hole, much like we talked about in putting. If our hands stop and the club keeps going, that is the kiss of death. You have no chance if your hands stop at impact. A couple things happen. The leading edge starts coming up off the ground. That increases bounce, raising the leading edge even more, and you're going to blade it. Or you're going to hit way fat because the bottom of the arc now is about 8 inches behind the ball. We have to keep the leading edge and the bounce the same as long as we can through the impact condition. So, to hinge and hold, what I do is I just break the wrist and I hold it going through. Now, when I say I hold it, what I'm doing is accelerating my hand. I'm not holding on to the club. I'm just keeping my hand moving to the target. Now, if you notice, my arm and club are going to form a straight line into the finish. I'll show you again. Now, look here. We have the arm and the club in a straight line. That means at no point did the club travel faster than the arm. We want that with the driver because we're trying to create distance. But here we're trying to control distance. We're trying to hit at the specific distance to the target. And the best way to do that is to have the arms and club working at the same speed. This also will allow us to be aggressive into the ball and not have it shoot off the club face. So we break our wrists and accelerate into the finish. And one more time, we're going to break our wrist and accelerate into the finish. Now, all three of those balls stayed inside the 3-foot circle. And one of the things that Dave Pelz and I really worked on is this basic easy chip shot. Because this is the most critical element of our short game. Not the lob shot and the flop shot and all those fun shots, which we'll get into. But getting this shot inside our 3-foot circle that we've spent so much time on now with our putter, that's our goal. And so working on this basic chip shot, refining the technique, is critical to creating a foundation for us on the golf course. Now, as we get into the specifics of the hinge and hold, I want to talk briefly about the wedge. I use a 60-degree wedge for this shot, and it can have a number of different bounces. 6 to 9, 10 degrees of bounce is fine, any of those. And all the wedges out are terrific now. There is one little thing that I do with my wedge, and that is I like to have a deeper sole. This is the wedge I use. This narrow little sole with very little bounce here, what that does is when I open it up, I'm not hitting anything on the back. I'm not adding bounce. I like this for these shots, for the lob shot. I like it for the bunker shot. I need this little extra bounce that this wider sole provides. That's the only thing that I would say to look for when you're getting a wedge. Otherwise, the amount of bounce, it really is not going to affect it too much.